All right, we are at the ORAC convention in Las Vegas. I'm here with Lauren Elane, which I thought Elane was like a middle name, but it's actually your last name.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get that a lot.
All the time.
So you invest in real estate all over the place. So we're gonna do a little quick like overview.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you some rapid fire questions. Cool?
Okay.
All right, so what's your like 1 minute like recap of what you do?
Well, I started flipping. I started doing equestrian properties. I do short-term rental, and now I'm moving into boutique hotels, and I do have some long-term rentals. So I would say I'm just like a general investor in real estate.
Hotel, Holiday Inn. I'm from St. Louis, so a little chingy action. Okay, so that's a lot there.
Yeah.
And right now you're working on boutique hotel.
Yeah.
Like taking it over, renovating it.
Yeah. Renovating it and doing a new development on the back part of the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so first question for you.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity to go to dinner with like your hot crush model, superstar, whoever.
Okay.
Or meet like a superstar entrepreneur business person, which of those lanes would you choose?
Obviously the entrepreneur business person.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Who's the first person that comes to mind?
Of my star entrepreneur business person,
Yeah.
I think Richard Branson. He's just like, I just love his life philosophy and the way he lives his life and his philosophy behind marketing, which is just like, he's like jumped out of planes and done stuff when he didn't have money. He's just like one of those creative people that started because it was born out of necessity.
Okay. So you're familiar with how he started the airplane business?
Yeah. On the back of a napkin. Is that what you mean?
With no money?
Oh, yeah.
With absolutely no money. So,
Yeah.
Okay, segue, not next question, but how did you get into your very first deal?
My very first deal was, well, I'll say my very first like investment deal, not like primary residence.
Yeah.
Very first deal was a wholesaler. I went to a local meetup. I met a wholesaler, real estate agent, and a contractor that all worked together. And they met me and I told them I was trying to get into real estate. And they were like, we're going to take you under our wing. Trust us. Don't worry. She's going to help you find the property, and then the contractor is going to help you do your renovation, and we're going to like teach you. And I was like, wow, this sounds incredible. Thank you. Bought the property for $50,000 cash. It was a nightmare. It was so much more than I bargained for. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be. I gave the contractor $5,000 as a down payment. Never saw him again. Now I had a really, really shitty house and no one to help me do it. And so I just had to figure it out by myself along the way. Yeah.
So you figured it out and it worked out okay in the end?
Yeah, because I got really lucky. It was timing. It was 2020. And so the market went up. I put $50,000 into the renovation and then ended up selling it for around $225,000. So I made $100,000 on my first deal. And that's like, to me, that's a grand slam. Mm-hmm. That's more than you could hope for. So I got super lucky on the timing. If that were in today's market, I probably would have been a little more stressed about the outcome. Yeah.
Okay. So piggybacking off that second question.
Yeah.
In this market right now, rates are higher than they were a couple years ago. Prices have continued to go up over the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a first-time real estate investor, whether it be outright investing or like a multi-family house hack? What's your one piece of advice?
Just start. Just go for it. You're not going to find the perfect deal. You might mess up. You might lose a little bit of money, but you won't really learn until you get going. And you have to get out of that like analysis phase where you're just like taking in more information. At some point, you just have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you may not be successful in the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
But if you
continue and you don't give up, yeah, you will eventually be successful. And that's kind of how I looked at my first one. I was like, well, I put $50,000 into this, and if I lose it, I paid more for that for my college education, and I didn't get anything out of that. So, so it's a college education. And I was like, if I keep going, I will eventually be successful. Like, time is your friend, knowledge, information. Learn from your mistake and just keep going.
Okay, third question. What stops people in your immediate circle, people that you know specifically, and we actually talked about this on air one time.
Yeah.
But what stops people from jumping in and starting?
Well, I think it's just the fear of not knowing, of like that perfectionism, like, oh, well, I've got to find the perfect deal. I think also there's just a lot of people in my like personal circle of non-investor friends that just don't have any interest in starting. I remember when I first read a book that was about like living in a property for 2 years and then moving into another one and doing that Section 121 strategy. And like in 10 years, you have 10 properties or something like that, or you're a millionaire in 10 years. And I remember telling one of my friends at the time about this, and she was like, wait, you have to move every 2 years? And I was like, that's what you got out of that? Like,
Right.
that, I'm like, I'm like, I'm happy to move every 10 years if after 10 or every 2 years, if after 10 years, I have multiple houses. I was like, this is incredible. And so I think, yeah, there are a lot of people that just aren't that interested in investing.
Okay, yeah. What's one thing about you that you think separates yourself from the rest of the pack to be able to be successful in this world?
I do it even when I'm scared. Like, and this is true of not just real estate for me. Like, when I was 21 years old, I really wanted to travel the world. I tried to get friends to go on an international trip with me. And I asked everybody, and none of my friends would go, or they were like, oh, I can't, on the money. We were in school. We were poor college kids. But so eventually I just bought an airline ticket to Thailand and I got on the plane. And when I got on the flight, I realized I didn't book a hotel. I did not know anybody where I was going. I just had someone had told me, go to Koh San Road. And I was like, okay. So I literally arrived in Bangkok and got off the plane and I was like, here we go. And just went for it, even though I was terrified. I cried the whole flight there. And I was like, why am I doing this? I have this amazing friends and beautiful life in Santa Barbara. Like, why do I have to always be striving for something more? And it was just the best decision I ever made. Like, on the back end of that trip, I was like, wow, I can't believe I almost didn't do that because I was so afraid and I didn't have other people to go with me and do it with me. So I think that is the one thing that in my early life, I did it anyways, even though I was really afraid. And then once you have success after doing that, you're like, okay, I'm really afraid, but I know this feeling. And I know that on the other side of this feeling is another feeling of looking back going, I can't believe I did that.
Is there a time where you didn't do the thing?
I mean, I think there's times all the time that I don't do the thing. Like, you've seen my content. I never do. I think that's a big one for me is I see friends of mine who have started, and similar to real estate investing being a COVID era success, there are a lot of content creators that started during that time that have huge followings now that are born out of that time period. And it's I could have done content and had a lot more of a following or an audience or engagement in that realm. And I've gotten so much from the relationships that I have made out of content, with you and Mark and everybody. And I'm like, why wouldn't I do that more?
Is it a fear thing or a capacity thing, or just not really seeing the fruits of the labor, or is it the juice worth the squeeze kind of a thing?
Yeah, it's when you're in the day-to-day life, you're just making content right now. It's that delayed gratification thing where you need to put in the work today. And I know this from real estate investing. Yeah. And it's it's the exact same thing. It's the same mentality. So it's yeah, I've done real estate investing, I've been successful, but we're all still not doing it somewhere in our lives. And that's part of continually growing and expanding yourself. But yeah, I mean, it's not really a fear thing. I'm not afraid of making content. It's more just a juice squeeze, time, capacity thing.
Juice squeeze, 6, 7. Sorry, I know you don't know what that is.
I don't.
Okay, back to Mark. I mean, he's the glue who holds the whole thing together with all of his lives, and now he's injured. He can barely walk around.
Which has been the best thing that's ever happened to his channel. He's making content every day now.
Every day. I mean, so he's got a really cool community that he's built.
Yeah.
So question for you, you may have an answer, you may not.
Yeah.
What's one thing about Mark that most people may not know about him? Because we talked to him quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's one thing about him that stands out? Besides his bald head. Yeah,
people may not know that he's bald because he always does wear a hat. No, I think the thing that people might not know about Mark is it's hard to say how he comes across, like when you're just watching the channel, you don't necessarily know him, but I would say that he's like a lot like more selfless and like he almost comes across stoic maybe on the channel. Like you ask him a question about himself, he doesn't like talk about himself, but like then in person, he's like very chatty, very funny. Like I think he's maybe like less, and here
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. We have to stop talking about him now.
No, but we're talking about you on camera. Come over here. Just like show your face like for like 1 second.
Just
come in here and show your face so that the listeners can see who you are. Just like give away. Well, we're talking about you actually.
Yeah,
like,
we
what's
mentioned
one
you
thing
and
about
then
you?
you walked in.
Oh.
So yeah, selfless. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
He's always looking to be able to like help others, not really focus the limelight on himself. And I give him trouble because he needs to do more of that sometimes. But that's a different conversation. Okay.
Yeah, you can ask him about that in his interview.
All right. Okay. So last thing, and we'll wrap up. What's one thing about 2026 that like gets you the most excited? Like you're just like pumped up. And please
About
don't say no.
2026?
Yes.
And don't say what?
Don't say nothing.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. The thing I'm most excited about 2026 is I feel like we're coming into, like, the vibes are shifting. We're coming into a new period of time where it was like COVID era. Okay, everything's a frenzy. And then it went into this like slumping era. And now I feel like we're coming out the other side of that. And I think there are a lot of good, like in the sense of real estate, there are a lot of good real estate deals that are available. And I'm excited to like use creative financing, seller financing. I've got a couple of people that I'm talking to for seller financing on things. And I'm like, this is fun. Like, I think we're entering a new era of like rejuvenated energy around real estate. And I think that it's going to heat things up a little bit. Like there's opportunities abound.
I'm feeling it too.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for making time out of your busy day.
Yeah.
Good shit. Keep it up.